In this video, I'll be coding an Angry Birds clone from scratch using JavaScript and HTML Canvas. And I'm gonna do it with my new coding buddy, Chat GPT. The video is unscripted and unedited, so we'll see when Chat GPT is helpful and when not. I also explain the code, so the video is a tutorial as well. You can play the game on my website. Try the different levels or create your own using the level editor. The code is there as well. Now let's begin and see if ChatGPT is graceful as a swan or just an ugly duckling. Get it? Because they're both birds and no! Gonna code, debug and have fun. Coding with Radu, coding with Radu. Gonna prototype and design. Coding with Radu, coding with Radu. Let's code now. We're gonna be starting from scratch. So empty file here, an empty web page. And I'm gonna use ChatGPT to help me when coding this game. So it's gonna be a Canvas application and I haven't really planned it at all. I'm gonna just work with whatever it can give me. The only thing I know is that I want to shoot birds at bubbles. So I'm going to bird the bubbles this time. And let's begin. So can you generate a web page with a canvas element on it? Okay. So I've tested ChatGPT a little bit, but not much. I'm just curious if what it does can help me here or not. Okay, so it's doing it. It's also doing some other things like drawing rectangles, circles for some reason. I didn't ask for that. And yeah, it's doing some extra drawing, but I don't want that. Can you just add the canvas without drawing anything and resize the canvas? I want it to be bigger, the canvas to, let's say, 960 times 600, and name the file bird the bubbles. Okay, I should have said name the title the page, but maybe it knows what I'm talking about. Okay, it says it's setting the title as well, so let's see if it actually does what it claims to do. Okay, this is better, and the size is changed. Okay, well, this is much shorter than before, but it is what I asked for. And I want to shoot the birds somehow, and the Angry Birds game uses a slingshot there. I don't want to copy everything from it, so maybe we're gonna use a cannon this time. Can you draw a cannon on the canvas? Maybe it's too much to ask. I don't know. Okay, it's doing everything again. It's rewriting everything and it's a little bit slow apparently. This looks pretty much like a rectangle, I think. Let's see if it works. I need to do this in a script tag, of course. But I also would like to see the canvas. So here, if I'm looking in the console in the elements. If I'm looking in the elements, I see the canvas there, but I don't really see it on the page. So, okay. Can you style the page so the canvas is centered horizontally and vertically? Yeah, and let me prepare here the files. So style CSS, and let's prepare also this canon or main.js to begin typing the JavaScript code, and I'm going to include them here. So the main. And let's put the styles, whatever it gave me here. Okay. Okay, it uses flex display on the body. That should work. So now we can actually see the canvas here. Okay, that's good. And that code for the canon. Let's put it here. And I'm using this prettier extension to format the things because I'm going to be coding some things, it's going to be coding some things, and should be able to see an error. It's trying to access my canvas, but I wrote the script here. I should add it at the end of the body. This is the canon. A little bit disappointed here, but okay. Can you make the canon more detailed? Draw the wheels and the barrel should rotate according to the mouse. Let's see. Can it do anything? With this prompt. Oh, and it's regenerating everything again and again. This is not good. It takes forever for me to wait. Maybe I can tell it to not do that. Let's see. Oh, okay. It's I don't really like this very much because these are kind of independent things. I like to use the class syntax in this case. Okay. But this is surprisingly good. It's giving me here a way to rotate the canon, adding event listeners for the mouse, and creating even the animation loop. Wow, this is quite useful, I think. Let me see. So I'm gonna go in main and replace this code here with the new one. Refresh. Oh, wow. Okay. Wow, this is quite nice. Can you use class syntax for the canon? So let's see what it's doing here. It's drawing the wheels. I don't really see them. I think all of the things are with the same fill style, so it's drawing them, but they are all this grayish color, and we may have to change this. But okay, now it's doing something more expected. Wheel radius, barrel length. These parameters, I didn't even tell it to use them. It just decided to put them there, and I think it's a good idea. It's still using the same color when drawing these things. And now it's implementing this update barrel angle and the draw method as methods according to the event coming from the canvas. Okay. I wouldn't implement it exactly like this, but let's just work with what it gives us here. So I'm going to copy this, replace this whole thing, and try it again. Still works. Let's try moving this canon to its own file, because this main is becoming horribly big. So canon.js, I paste it here, and let's include it as well here. So this still works, and let's give different colors to these. Let's make the wheels black and the base brown. There's a base. So the wheels are not visible because the base is brown, but the barrel is it's doing a fill rect here with the previous brown. This fill is actually not necessary. So the base is brown, the barrel should be black. And the wheels, let's make these over the base, otherwise we just don't see them. This base thing is covering them entirely. And okay. It's not what I expected. Let's make the wheels in the front. Let's make them brown, and let's have just one wheel. Seems like the center point is this. It's not XY like the center of the thing. I don't like this very much. Okay, and the base may be gray. So now we have the base and we have this small wheel there. Let's make the wheel bigger. So the wheel radius, the last parameter here, too big. It's radius, not size, so too big. Yeah, I think it's fine. So let's go now to main.js and make it a little bit smaller. I think it's too big. So I'm going to make it a little bit smaller and a little bit more towards the left. The width and height are these two. Let's say 80 and 70. and more towards the left. Let's make this 50. Okay, the wheel size seems to grow now. Wheel radius is the last one. I want it to be 35 now, so half of the height there. Okay, this is fine. I'm not exactly sure if this was faster than if I would do it myself, but it did type a lot of things here and it gave me some ideas to work with. So good. And a little bit the implementation, I'm kind of confused. I don't know exactly why this center point is the bottom of the barrel there. It may have some, it may cause some complications. Can I change it somehow? I would like the center point to be here. The barrel. Well, let's try to put here divided by 4. Okay, so now it's higher up, but I would like the mouse to be higher up as well. So here the mouse, okay, this is doing it inside of the cannon. I don't like this because this canvas is now a global variable there. So what I would do is take this out and put it here. Get the mouse location relative to the canvas size location on the screen. So this is good, I think. And then I guess we could do this, update the barrel angle according to this angle. So here it's just doing barrel angle is this angle, which comes as a parameter. This code is better because it doesn't pass the canvas to the cannon, apart from the context here when drawing it. Right, so this should be by 4, I think. It doesn't work anymore. Okay. Unmouse move the event. I don't like this, but okay. But when drawing it, why is it drawing it up like that now? So I think this is how it was previously. The mouse location is good, but this is not good. Yeah, something is weird here and I don't want to read the whole code. Let's just leave it like this and trust it. So let's move on to something else and see if it can draw the bird. Also, this I don't like. So all these vars also. Okay, this is twice here. So let's do this. Okay. No, why doesn't it work? Oh, X and Y. Y and X, because it's this arctangent function. Mm-hmm. I'm confused. Ah. Okay, now it seems to work. Let's ask it to draw the bird. I have a little bit doubts. Can you create a class called bird that draws a bird on the given context? On a given context. Using a given context. Don't type only the bird class. I don't want it to say everything Okay. We got an error. Refresh and let's try again. Can you create a bird class that can be drawn on a given context? Generate just the bird class code. Okay. Starts well. It even has a color parameter there. This is not a bird, this is a circle. Can you add more details like a beak, eyes, and wings? Okay. Wow, it's generating relative values based on the size there. For the size of the beak, the eyes, the wings. And then here, okay, it's drawing something. I guess this is the body. And then the beak. This is a reddish color, orange. Something like that. Okay, some lines there. The eyes. Why are there 3 eyes? Why are there 4 eyes? Okay. Ah. White for the outside and black for the inside. The wings are at an angle. What is this gonna look like? I'm really curious. Let's copy this. Add it in a new file here. And in main.js, in index.html, I have to include it. Bird.js. And in main, let's create this bird similar to the cannon bird somewhere. So it had X, Y, size and color. Let's put it somewhere in the middle, maybe 400, 300 size 50 and color red. It's not there because it's not being drawn, so I have to draw it. Why is it not there? So we have a bird, 403. Oh, new cannon, new bird. Capital B. What is this? It's it sure has personality. Let's see these bigger. So big size, let's make it bigger. So I prefer to type these like so. Even bigger. I would draw the beak opposite, but okay. And then the eye size. What? What? Ah, it was covered by the wing. This is a wing. There is a wing there. Okay. Now we can see better the shape of the wing. This wing... It's moving here somewhere to draw the wing, but somehow the center of the wing is not the center. I mean, the start of the wing, I would expect it to be somewhere here. Let's just not draw the wing and see how the eyes look like. Okay, they're really nice, but I want the bird to face that way. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna keep one eye. This one. No, I want to keep the eye on the left. And move it to the right. So oh, it didn't work. I wanted that part to also go. Like that. This is good. And the beak. Okay. A little bit to the left. So okay, but behind the head. I think it looks nicer like that. So okay, great. And the wings, I don't know if I want to bother with them. It's doing something nice here, but a little bit complicated, and I would need to learn how this works. And there seem to be two of them. Okay. Let's simplify, so too many curves there. Align to these coordinates here. So what is this doing? This size minus x, minus wing size, 0. this size minus wing size. No, how can this be? It's doing line 2. The same x? This size minus wing size, this is the same, should be the same x. Oh, it's rotating it, okay. Okay. Let's rotate 0. So now I don't want this. Okay, a vertical line here. So now I kind of know what it's doing. It's first translating to the middle of the bird, and from there it's doing something. So let's consider that now with this. This doesn't look bad. It's just luck. Let's say wing size is times 0.7. Okay. So I kind of like this, but not closing the path. I just want this shape. Do I want it like this? Something like that. I think it's quite nice. It gives a kind of an idea that there is a wing there. The angle here that you rotate the wing, this is also something. This wing angle. Okay, not very good. I think this is just going to be 0. There is not going to be any rotating things involved. But there might be some scaling. Wing flap scalar. It's kind of a bad name, but what I want to do is when drawing, I want to increase this by something. Something with the periodic motion. I'm gonna get the time in milliseconds and I'm gonna use it here for the sine function. I need to modify this a little bit, but with that, I don't actually need this to be a property of this anymore. Or let's keep it there. And then here horizontally with this wing flap scalar and vertically nothing. So if we do this, wow, I didn't expect that. After translating. And I don't want it to go that way, and I want it to increase faster. Something like that. Okay, faster. Not bad. Let's have a rotation after all. Okay, I like it. So this is going to be when flying. So now we can control this. I think it's gonna give a nice effect. Does this bird scale nicely? Like if I make it smaller? Wow. Okay. It's not bad, and I'm using a lot of the things that this chat is generating for me. But I am making a lot of the things myself, so it's not doing everything for me. Is it faster? I don't know. I think about the same speed as if I would do it myself, because I have to understand what is the code that it's generating. And it can't really do everything. Like if I would have told it to do things like this, I would have had to work very much on the prompts, and I think that in the end it would just become a kind of a spaghetti there. But okay, we have a cannon that moves and a bird that flaps its wings if we tell it to. So how about making the bird shoot out of the cannon next? That means we have to put the bird at the cannon location. So let's call this start location and x, y. It's gonna be this, x and y. So start x and start y, like so for both of them. Okay. It's not really what I expect. It's this cannon. This is the top left of the cannon, really. Horrible. This logic here is not fantastic. I'm just gonna have to, I'm gonna work with it, but it's not the best. So this is the top left of the cannon, and I want the bird to be exactly in the middle, preparing to shoot it. Okay, meanwhile, let's have ChatGPT do something. Maybe for the background, let's draw some trees in the background. Okay, meanwhile, I have to figure out here that location. So I've used here barrel XY. This is actually barrel start. Let's make it barrel info. Because the angle of the barrel should be also somewhere. Okay, so barrel info, get barrel info in Canon, get barrel info. It's also gonna give us the barrel angle. That will be useful soon. So now with this information, we can do here a barrel info start X and Y for the barrel. And now it's better. It's not exactly perfect, I think. Let me disable the wheels of the cannon. This cannon is drawn weirdly. I would have put that center point somewhere else. Because now this math here is a little bit difficult to figure out, right? Looks like the barrel should be a little bit upwards. Is this? No. There's a annoying offset happening here somewhere. This is good. Okay, I figured it out. Lucky. Okay, so now we have the bird there at the location. It should be inside the barrel, but that's not a big deal. And when we click, we have to move it along that angle somehow. We'll do that soon. Let's see if ChatGPT gave us a tree. Interesting. Tree.js, like this. I'm gonna paste it here, format it. And wow, trunk width, height, leaf width, height. Okay, this is not a leaf, it's a circle. How to call this? How to instantiate an object. I hope it knows that I'm referring to the tree object. Yeah, it does know. It's smart. Okay, so let's just take this code and put it here. And the draw, let's move it here next to the other things. Tree is not defined because I haven't included it here. Okay, it's hilarious. I don't think it will look good as circles like this. Maybe I'm wrong. Let's try a little bit the parameters. So, many parameters. Leaf height, the second last one. 200. But that's not the height. One, two, three, four, five, six. The sixth parameter. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, this one. This is a little better. Let's see if we can make it smaller next. So maybe, so first two are the XY, width, height, width, height. Oh, everything is like that. Let's make them proportional. So the leaf width is going to be the trunk width multiplied by a little bit larger, so 1.3, and the leaf height is going to be the trunk height times 1.9. So now those two things don't make any difference here, and I don't care about it much. So let's remove those, make it simpler, these parameters. Yeah, and maybe we can multiply it by something more, 0.8. This is okay. And when we define it, let's make it smaller now. So let's say width of 20 and the height of 40. Okay. I want the width to be smaller, maybe 10. And the leafy part to be bigger, so let's put here 2.8. Yeah, that's something okay. Now these values here, they could be modified a little bit with some randomness. So let's say plus okay. I don't care about these trees being too customizable. So, I mean, I'm not going to pass these values as parameters. I'm fine with the tree no matter how it looks like here. And the leaf color, the same. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go here. I really don't care about the leaf colors. The tree size can be as a parameter because I may draw them in the front or in the back. Let's see. But the color, what color can the trees be? Maybe it's autumn and maybe they are green, yellow, red. So let's make a color as a RGB combination where blue is 0. So no blue. And red and green are going to be some high values. Let's put here red as random times 100 plus 155. And let's make this into an integer value so that we don't have problems because colors should be integers. And same for the green. So red and green are going to vary according to this. And red and green. And the leaf color will be this color. We can actually write directly here, like so. Now, refresh. Yellow tree, greenish tree. Not bad. We work with making more of them soon, but let's make the game mechanics. Meanwhile, draw me, make a class of a cloud. Let's have some clouds moving on the scene that can be drawn on the canvas. I think it's quite useful for generating these other elements of the game. Even simple shapes, if we use them wisely, they can look nice. Meanwhile, mechanics. So we have an event listener here for mouse move. Let's add one for mouse down. And what we want to do now is charge the cannon. Yeah. So the longer you press, the stronger it's gonna fire. Let's have a log. And mouse up. So I want this to be charge and fire. So let's tell the cannon to charge, to start charging. Cannon fire, I don't know if we need some effect for it to do, but let's prepare for it anyway. So start charging and fire. Now the charge amount, I want it to fluctuate, to go up and down. So I'm going to use the same kind of trick we used in the bird for the sine function. This charge is going to be adding. Am I going to be adding to it, or am I just going to set it? I don't want this. Okay. The value is 0 there, and this is kind of an update function now. It's doing drawing, but also updating. I want to use this start time. So let's say time value charge.value is 0 and time is new date get time. So this is the time we started charging. And here we will say that the value is going to be the difference of this time for minus the charge time. This is going to be a difference in milliseconds. And this difference we are going to pass to our sign function. And most likely we have to also divide it by some value, otherwise it's going to move too quickly. So let's divide by 500 like this. So the charge value is going to change, and fire, I guess it's going to put the charge value to 0 as well. Let's see. So what I want to do is log this. And sign will give me also negative values. So this is not good. I could add a 1 to it and divide by 2 to get a value between 0 and 1. Let's see. So these are now some values appearing there. Only when charging is started. Now, we're going to use this time to check it. So the time is going to be null here, and we say here if the time is not null, then do these things. Okay, so it starts with the value of 0.5, goes higher, 7, 8, 9. Then it gets lower. I don't want it to start at 0.5. I will use the cosine instead. So this one starts at 9, at 0.9, so 1, maximum strength, and I don't want that either. Going to offset it. So now it starts at 0, it starts growing, and then I think it's going to be good. I would like to visualize this value somehow. So maybe the barrel can change color, becomes red. The more charged it is, the more red it is. So when drawing the barrel here, instead of black, it's going to be an RGB value where the red, actually where the green and blue are going to depend on this charge value. So multiplied by 255 and keeping it as an integer value. So what we do here is we say maximum red, but then for the green and blue, I'm going to put that value. So let's try it. Okay. Not what I wanted. So red has to be max, but this green and blue. Oh, no. Red. This is red, and green and blue, both of them are 0. So now the redness of that measures illustrates what is the strength of the cannon when we're going to release it. Nice. Okay. So that's good. But it's moving a little bit slow, so I'm gonna make this charge time value go faster. Too fast. I want to have some kind of control. Okay. Nice. So now, what did Chat GPT give us here? A cloud. Let's try to add it into the project. Looks like something. With height, color. I'm just going to go to main and to index, include this cloud.js, and in main I'm going to add a cloud somewhere to the right of our tree, maybe 400. Cloud, and the cloud here, we need to draw it as well. What is this? The color of the cloud is missing. Let's make it red. That's the cloud. That is the cloud. Oh, come on. It looks so complicated. I would just draw it by putting many random circles on top of each other, different sizes. It doesn't look that... Oh, wait. Oh, we are not calling it maybe properly. Width and height. Our tree is very thin. So maybe I'm going to go to the main and say width of 100 and the height of 40. I can kind of see the shape now. It looks like something else. It's not really a cloud. It looks like lips if you rotate your head like that. Can you try a different shape? Maybe using multiple random circles on top of each other. Somehow I want a different way. Okay, let's see what it does. The radius is random, but it starts at 0. So some of these will be not so great. Let's go here in the cloud, replace the new code. And okay. Problem is it's doing this in the draw function. They should be part of the object's properties. Now it's regenerating random circles on each frame. Can you store the circles as attributes of the object? Now they are regenerated on each frame. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah, this looks better. Now let's try this one. So refresh, and that's our cloud. Another cloud, another cloud, another cloud. They are okay, but not fantastic. I think the number of circles could be bigger, maybe 50. Yeah, that's better. And the color, I would just make all of them the same color. So, or again, some kind of random color. Let's decide the intensity as random times something like that. So they will be whitish, light gray colors. And I'm gonna put this one here for the red, green, and blue. So when they are equal, that means they are going to be like a gray tint. Let's have them transparent as well and decide the transparency maybe like this. I don't really like it. Let's put it off, at least for now. And this intensity here, let's start at 200 and just give it 55. So they are more whitish in color. We can also give our canvas blue background. So let's set here, let's go in the CSS and just give it here. So the canvas background color, sky blue. And I think the clouds can be much lighter actually. So why is this not affecting this color? So it should be, oh, my formula is wrong. Let's keep 55 as before. Yeah, this is fine. But if we go to main.js, the size of the cloud, let's choose a better value, maybe something like that. Yeah, it's pretty good. We can have more of them, 100. Okay, that's good. Let's try again some transparency. All right, so we have cloud, we have trees. What else can we have in the background? I guess the sun could somehow radiate. Can you add a radial gradient sent to represent the sun Okay. Why is the center why is the center of the gradient in the center? Yellow, okay. Meanwhile, let's work more on the mechanics. So when we release the mouse here on mouse up and we fire the cannon, we have to give this bird a velocity. So bird velocity is going to be angle. Let's give it the cannon info, barrel info. Okay, this gives us x and y, not I think we had also barrel info dot angle, and the velocity is going to be let's make the cannon also return the charge value. Let's call it strength. Okay. Now here, so we have barrel info, angle, and strength. So this angle will give us the direction, and the magnitude is going to be barrel info dot strength. Multiplied by something, because this is going to be very small otherwise. So let's try that. And okay, let's see this. It's not the best structure, but the velocity is going to be a direction, let's say 0, and the magnitude 0. So in the beginning, it's not gonna have any velocity, it's not gonna move at all. But when moving, so this draw now acts as a kind of an update function here. So I'm going to say x modify x and y with the velocity. I'm going to extract this as a method, move, and this x plus equals this velocity direction multiplied by cosine of the direction multiplied by the magnitude. Okay, and the same will happen for the y, but with the sign. That's nice, I think. There's some settings offset between this prettier and my VS Code settings, but I don't mind. Okay, nothing happens. Oh, the move method is not called. Let's make it into a private method here. This dot move. I think in main.js we are firing, which means we are setting the cannon's properties back to 0. Guess we could pass the bird there as the parameter. Cannon fire the bird. Let's try to do that. It makes a little bit more funny code. Fire the bird. So the velocity will be barrel info, get barrel info. Okay. So now the cannon fires the bird. Okay. Where is my bird? And why is the gravity not affecting it? Okay. Let's see also this gradient and give Chat GPT something more to do. So the center and radius. Okay, I'm not exactly sure what all of this is doing here, but let's just see. I'm gonna copy it here. And I think these we want to do on every time we regenerate this. We draw every time we draw. So refresh. Wow, okay. Sure is sunny. It's in the there. It's in the middle of the sun. Okay. Let's make this gradient a little bit different. So yellow, orange, red. How about having the last one sky blue? Better. And how about moving the center of the gradient in the top right corner? We don't need these. And this radius can be in line here. I don't want to define too many things. Okay, and we don't need the sky blue in the CSS anymore since the gradient will handle it for us. Oh, y of 0. Maybe we don't want exactly 0. Maybe we want an offset here. Okay, this is nice. Okay, thank you, Chat GPT. Now, how about okay, if I charge just a little bit this bird, then it moves very, very slowly. Gravity has to also affect, and now it's going into the sun. Perfect. Well, let's work on the background a little bit. I want to use these things that Chat GPT has made. So let's generate some functions here for some hills in the background. I'm just gonna try to write some functions. Let's see what we get. And also this background here. Let's have a new file, background.js, and move this code there. And I will make it as a class. That gets the... It needs to know how big the canvas is. So I'm just gonna store the context here like so. And draw doesn't need the context this time because it's already there. So what we do is we destructure it here. From this, and now this code almost works. This canvas here. I think this is now good. Background is not defined. I forgot to include it here. Gradient is not defined. It doesn't work anymore. So the background, radial gradient. I forgot these lines here. Still nothing. The background. Yeah, these seem to be fine. Oh, I forgot to call it, I guess. Okay, now the tree and the cloud, these are things that the background should handle. So I'm just gonna tell background to draw, and it's gonna make that and also do the trees and the cloud. Okay. Nice. So now main is simpler. It's just draw the background cannon and the bird. Let's remove some of these comments. And here I want many trees, so and more clouds. So let's say, and the loop here to move the clouds would be nice. And to generate these trees. So let's have generate trees. And here, this generate trees. Let's say we want 10 of them. And here we're going to say for let I, let's say this is going to be the X, no, I is 0. Like that, we generate number of trees. So here the tree is going to be new tree, and the coordinates here, X and Y, we have to think about these. But let's just say times CTX canvas width, and same for the height for the Y. So at the moment they are just random, but we will probably make them look nicer. And here, instead of drawing that, we say that. So this is for the trees. Generate trees. Okay, many trees there. But they go everywhere. So let's first create some kind of constraints for these. Let me define some functions. This f1 is going to be f1 of x is going to give us this CTX canvas height times 0.8. Just that, it's going to return a constant. And here when drawing, I'm going to draw these functions really quick somehow. For x is 0, x is less than canvas width, x plus plus. If x is 0, then CTX move to x and this f of x. Otherwise, the same thing but with the line too. So that we are drawing this function somewhere, and CTX stroke, and I also want to begin the path. This f is not a function. F1. F1, F1. So it's just a line. It's just a boring line. I want the trees to start appearing above this line. But now the other functions will be more complicated. So let's try f of x is going to be... Let's have this same basis minus x squared. And this is going to be f2. So I just copy these because I'm going to not need them at some point. This is way too much there. What if let's use the sign again. Like this, and let's scale it by that. Okay. Kind of a hill here. That's good. Something like that. Okay. And I want another one on the right, but maybe this one could be higher actually, because there is there is nothing here. The sun is there. So maybe this can be something like that. And okay, the sun could be a little bit smaller. So 3 here. And let's add another function, f3, that is going to be quite similar to this one. And this f3, we draw it as well, but we will give it some kind of offset, I think. Let's try the sign because that has an offset by default. And modify this to be lower, like that. I like it. So now I want to generate trees on these hills. So if we are less than f2 and f3, then it's a good location for a tree. Our trees will be generated still randomly, but we need them to have a y less than f2 and f3 and more than f1. So I want trees to be in this region here. So let's try that. Generate trees. We have the x, which is going to be random, like now, but the y is also random. And if y is going to be less than f2 of x, and y is going to be less than f3 of x, and y, okay, this should be greater because y grows the other way. So 0, 0 is this corner right here. So it grows downwards. So it needs to be greater than these functions and less than f1. This f1 of x. Then it's a good tree. So this tree is going to be added. So now if I refresh, I get sometimes trees there. Sometimes not at all, because this space here is just too... Okay, I also made a mistake. I'm looking here below this function and below this function. And that's bad, because it means this triangle here is the only place that can accept trees. So this has to be OR here. And like that. So now trees only go there. Okay, but the number of trees is not a constant anymore. So what we need to do is else I minus minus. So we try to regenerate this tree one more time. And now we get the number of trees, always the same. So let's try many trees. Let's put here generate trees with 100 trees. That's our procedurally generated trees right there. There are some problems, definitely. So the size of the trees, I think the further in the back, the bigger. The ones here, I don't know, this, we have to decide which hill is in front. I think it's too much trouble, so I'm just going to make the width and height of the trees dependent on this value of y. So very big. I just want something quick here. Okay, and I think we can start with something smaller here, like 2 and... something like this. Okay, this is good. And one thing is that these some trees are in front of some other trees, like these small ones here are on top of the other ones, so we would like to sort these somehow. So after we generate these trees, we say this trees sort, and I'm gonna pass here a function to sort these, to compare these based on their y value. I may have made this the other way around because y grows in the other way. No, something doesn't work. Oh, this should return the value. Yeah, it was wrong. It was correct the first time. So this, and refresh. And now the trees look like they should, with bigger ones in front and smaller ones in the back. Okay, nice. We could also make the grass here as a kind of a gradient. We could also, now the trees in front appear to be more than on the hill. So if you use the square root of the random value, not for the x, but for the y, then no, not good. Squaring the random value or raising it to a power, it's going to skew and generate more trees in the back. So if the larger the power, I think the more trees are going to be generated there. Okay. Also depends if we allow this value to go a little bit higher. I think I'm quite happy with this. All right. So the hills should have also a color. Let's see if we can draw those hills. So this F1 and F2, let's rename them now. So left hill, right hill, and base, hill base. Okay, and when we do this drawing, we don't stroke, we fill. And we don't need to draw this fill base anymore at all. So I just want to draw the two hills and fill the inside of them with something, maybe fill style green. Okay, not fantastic, because it takes this point and connects it to the last point. So I would like these to go all the way down. Basically, the fill style, the first point in the path should be CTX moved to bottom left, so 0 canvas height. And here we don't need that more complicated thing anymore. And at the end we need another thing here with canvas width and canvas height, another line too. So let's copy this for the right hill. Function. These are fine, but this green color here, let's give it a different tint from the other hill. Too striking, I think. So let's put bigger values here for the yellow. Even bigger. Somehow this line here is a little bit annoying, that some trees are exactly on that line. So maybe drawing them in reverse order would look better. I don't know. No, I liked it better before. So we have something here. It's not perfect, but I guess I could avoid that line if I do some more calculations, but let's make the game. And also these clouds. So let me just put the clouds in a similar way. So generate clouds and clouds. Clouds, they don't need to be sorted. Cloud, if it's less than the left hill and less than the right hill, then we generate, so it's going to be above those. And the cloud, what does it have? It has XY width height. These values are the default values. The color didn't matter much. So we removed that parameter. So here the cloud is going to be generated, and we want these values to be maybe the same. I don't think we use X and Y. I don't think we use Y when generating it. Yeah, and generate clouds after generate trees. Let's say 3 clouds. And to draw the clouds, we do the same thing as for the trees, but with the cloud from clouds. Refresh. Okay. Interesting how we get this one over the trees as well. Let's add some randomness to the size anyway. So here, and I have a feeling we will need to sort them as well anyway. Why are all the clouds so high up there? Oh, because of this function here. Let's remove. I don't want to have the same thing as with the trees. So now they will be generating everywhere pretty much. Maybe I do want a little bit of that effect. And let's increase the number of clouds, maybe 10. Okay, this looks nice. I'm happy with it. Now the bird, firing the bird has to be affected by gravity as well. And we have to shoot bubbles. So Can you draw a bubble? Can you make it can be drawn on the canvas? And meanwhile, let's go in main.js and the bird draw. So I'm going to move it and also move it vertically by some gravity. This y plus equals let's try one. It's not realistic, but no, I actually want to increase the velocity on that direction. Complicated. Let's just see how this looks like. Yeah, so the bird is going down. This is not good because this is not how gravity works. We could decompose this into x and y instead of the direction and the magnitude. So here, when the cannon is firing the bird, this is an angle and strength, but it could actually calculate those as x and y. I think it's a quick solution. So this code from here is going to go here. Like so. Velocity on x and velocity on y. Barrel info, angle, barrel info, strength. Like that. Okay, so with this, x and y values for the velocity, we can say simpler here, the velocity x and the velocity y. Now this code should be pretty much the same as before. It's not. It was faster before, so what happened? In the cannon here, the strength okay, and now in the bird's movement after or before we move it doesn't really matter much. We have to change its velocity on y with the small value. So now it's falling there. only if flying. So if flying, we change it to a small value. Is it stopping? Let's change it with the bigger value. Why isn't it working? So the velocity y, this flying, it's never set to true, so cannon fires the bird, sets its velocity. Yeah, let's just say fly, a method call, and we give it the barrel info, like so. So now the bird fly barrel info. Okay, and bird flying set to true. Okay, now it's too much here, 0 point. It's very much. But the bird is flapping also, I forgot about that. Too strong gravity. So let's put here a global value g. Okay. Okay, where are the bubbles? Is this a bubble? It looks like a circle, but the bubble can move. I don't want the bubbles to move. Too complicated. Can the style of the bubble be made better? Okay. Now also this bird should be, maybe we put the bird at the tip of the barrel. Or is it too much trouble? So we have the barrel length. We have the barrel length and we get the barrel start x and end x. And y is gonna be, okay, let's put here so this is the x where the barrel starts, start x, and this is the start y. And end y and x, so these also need to be calculated. So end y and x is going to be start x plus cosine of barrel angle times, was it barrel length? Yes. Okay. And same goes for the end y, but with the start y and with the sign here. So now we can pass here end x and end y. And the bird we need this. And this should put it so that it's on the tip of the cannon like that, because the gravity somehow made it go through the cannon, and when firing it doesn't work anymore because we are forcing it there all the time. But we can say here if bird is if the bird is not flying, then we stick it to the end of the barrel. So now it works a little bit better. And if the bird is not flying, we also don't draw it. So we only draw it here. So now it's in the cannon and we shoot, and it doesn't work. Oh, because it's behind the background. Okay, this is better now. And it should be actually behind the cannon because there's a small frame there where it looks like the bird is over the cannon, and I don't like it. So, okay, now we have control moving the bird like that. I would like to be able to shoot again when the bird is off the screen. I want it to go back there. So this cannon is somehow moving the bird off screen sometimes. If bird x is greater than canvas width, or bird x is less than 0, or bird y is less than 0, or okay, bird y less than 0, I don't want that, but bird y greater than canvas height, then bird flying false. It went outside of the screen, so I want it to be back in the cannon. Aha, looks like I'm shooting twice. I can shoot many times. It's a feature. Interesting. That's something we need to fix. But now when the bird is off the screen, we can shoot again. So mouse down, start charging if bird not flying. So now I can't shoot anymore. Also this one. So now I can't shoot, I have to wait. And now I can shoot again. So mechanics are good now. Except the speed. The speed of the bird should be something even when you just click slightly. So I think. So let me go to let's try the maximum speed. I think that's okay. But the speed coming from this, let's make it 2 plus this multiplied by maybe a little bit smaller maximum value. So this is now the smallest thing that you can do, and holding longer, holding very long. Okay, the bubbles, any update? Wow, shadow blur. Wow, what are these bubbles? They look fancy. Code looks fancy, but I suspect it doesn't look so pleasant. Let's see. Bubble.js. Radius and color. How to color these? Let's see. So in main.js, I'm going to define here a bubble, new bubble. Let's say 300x, 200y. Radius. Did the bird have a radius or size? And is this size, does it really mean radius or does it mean... It means radius. Chat GPT. Okay, I renamed that, and here. Okay. Okay, something wrong in main.js. I guess I was still working on these. So bird radius. I'm gonna use the same for the bubbles. It's gonna make life easier. And let's try a red bubble and see what happens. And I assume the syntax is the same, yeah, with the CTX. So bubble, okay. In main, we draw the cannon, we draw the bubble. We haven't included the bubble yet. Oh, okay, it's not bad. It's here. Okay. But how about blue? I'm surprised. This looks really good. Thank you, Chat GPT. I will. Okay, so bubble, bubble. Blue. Let's make them bigger. I think it's more visible like that. Is that shadow really doing anything? Not much. The gradient is this kind of nice, just a transparent gradient on top of the blue color. Yeah, that's how it did it. It's impressive. Okay. Okay, how about a different color? Light blue? No, not visible. Red again. Somehow the colors here are not that great. Let's leave it blue. Make it dark blue. Okay, somehow I would like the sun to be here, this big hill to be there, and this small hill to be here, because then if it's blue on top of this greenish area, it's better visible. So left hill will become a right hill. Oh, that was easy. I just have to rename this. Let's rename left hill to left hill 1 so that we can say right hill to left hill and left hill 1 to right hill. And the sun should be in the left, so the center, this is that. Yeah, and now this place here, I can put the bubbles in some shape, in some format. And I can make them blue, I think. So let's try blue again. And let's put it here to see how it looks like. I think this is fine. What happens if we increase the radius here just a bit? Nah, I don't bother with that. Or okay. The outer part is transparent, so it doesn't make a big difference. I think it makes a little bit difference around the borders. Yeah, okay, this is good. Let's try 0.91 and the same thing here. Hmm. Yeah, too much trouble. I liked it already in the beginning. Let's just leave it the way Chat GPT made it. Okay, so let's design the level, and I'm not going to design the level by putting those bubbles there one by one. I'm going to have a kind of a level editor here. So I will design the level and play it in the same page. So let's design the level by putting bubbles with the right click and then shooting with the left click. Maybe not. I would like to also have the possibility to save the images, the generated images here. This looks quite good for a few hours of work. So how about this is quite tough. Okay, that would have worked. Right. The bubble should not be just bubble, but bubbles. Bubbles. Let's have a let here. Or no, this is fine. So bubbles. And I don't remember how to add right click listener. Let's see if ChatGPT can help us out. Oh yeah, it was this trick of context menu. So when the menu appears, but wait, I said I maybe don't want to use the menu for this part. Maybe right click, but also while holding down a key, like a control key. Let's take this. I think it's useful. So here I'm going to say context menu, it gets this right click add, and prevent default makes the menu disappear. So how to, if the control key is pressed. So we hold down control and right click to add bubbles. It's good that it's a bit more complicated because this is kind of like level editor functionality. Okay, but can we store the value if control is down somewhere? Okay. Okay, yeah, we need also the key up listener. So thank you. Yes, I know. I know. I know. Okay. It's polite to wait for it because if someday they become how is the word? Sentient. Better treat them well. So is control down? I would rename this to rename level editor active, set to false, and these keys are going to set it true or false. Okay, and this context menu, if the level editor is active, then we do this stuff. Otherwise, we don't do anything. So let's refresh, right click. Okay, there are some bugs here. Bubble is not defined. What? Okay, I removed the bubbles. It's bubbles. I removed the bubbles. Refresh. Now right click, the menu appears, and it actually also clicks the bird. I don't want that. So why is right click triggering mouse down? Okay. No, I don't want that. I want to detect if the left click was pressed. Okay, yeah, I vaguely remember this. So there is a property there. It tells me if it's, yeah, okay. Thank you. So, on mouse down here, if the button is 0 and the bird is not flying, then we start charging. And same thing here. So now refresh, right click, just makes the menu appear. But if I'm gonna press right click with control down, there is no menu appearing. So now I can add the right click at location there. It tells me where to add the circles, and it looks like there's some log also in the canon. Let's remove this. Okay, let's add the bubbles. So in main.js, bubbles, push, new bubble. Okay. At XY bubble radius. And the color is just gonna be blue, so the bubble.js doesn't need that, I think. Or red, green, blue. Okay, and the blue just maximum value. So the green is gonna give us a different shade of blue there. Okay. Does it work? No. We don't draw the bubbles. So here we have to do okay, bubbles are there. So I can create the level like this, and all we need is collision detection. I'm gonna give it the code sample here. So the bird is gonna be that, and the bubbles is gonna be that, and the radius is gonna be here, and generating the bubbles happens here. So I'm gonna put also this so it knows where the bubbles come from and how they look like. It's a hard one. It wasn't a hard one. So bubble has a radius, bird has a radius. This is good. Okay, but it's just one bird and bubble. But this is all I need, really. For all the bubbles, and if there is a collision, remove the bubble from the array. This does not remove the bubble from the bubbles array. Oh, it was down. I didn't have to type that, so it wasn't just this code before, it also shows how to loop and do that. Yeah, so I need this in main.js, I guess. The check collision function, and now this thing has to happen. So collision between a bird and a bubble. This looks good. So this is the Pythagorean theorem used here to get the length of the hypotenuse. Bird collided with the bubble, remove the bubble. It also knows to decrease I so that it doesn't jump over a bubble that was after one that was removed, to account for removed element. The comment is even good. Yeah, very good. So this code is a function handle collisions. Since they are global variables there, I'm not going to specify any more parameters, and I'm just going to write here handle collisions. like this before the bubbles are drawn. Refresh. Let's add some bubbles with control down and shoot. Okay, I'm somehow impatient and I don't want to wait for that bird to leave. So I want to shoot more birds. Maybe the score could be a penalty of how many birds you need until all the bubbles are gone. But I don't want to wait. I want a new bird to come there. So how do I do this? We need more birds. I don't want that bird to just disappear. So let the bird be that. Birds is an array with just one bird. Okay. And every time we need birds, when we fire the bird, we also add a new bird. In the beginning of the array with these properties. Cannon fires the bird. The first bird. Check collisions between bird for all the birds. Some of them might be flying. Yeah, many of them might be flying. And here, I think what we do is we say we loop. Let's loop like this. Get a quick reference to bird like so. And here, if it's out of the screen, I don't want to do this flying thing anymore. I want to remove it. So that otherwise, let's draw it. And is this it? I think the logic there should be that. I don't think that's the reason why it doesn't work. Mouse up. So what's the problem? This mouse up. Okay, it looks good. Cannon fire doesn't like it. Cannon fire. Barrel info. So bird fly. Oh, this was using the global variable here. It shouldn't. Okay. Let's see how many birds we have now in the console. Should be just one, the one on the tip there. And now there are 3 of them, 2 of them, 1. So this seems to work. And if we have many bubbles here, yeah, okay. Did something happen there? Was there some bug? Maybe I just didn't see well. One thing I would like is not to always have to regenerate the level. Like if I like one level, to save it. Okay, this looks good otherwise. Let's try to store the levels somehow. I'm not sure how to do this. Local storage is one thing, but what if you want to share the game, your level, with somebody? That would be really nice. Maybe we can use base64 and pass the information as a base64 string in the URL. Not sure. Can we? How to convert a string to... So I would like to know the positions of the bubbles to base64 in JavaScript. I'm not sure if this will work. Okay, I remember somehow this function. So you have a string. Okay. And is there a way to decode, I guess, A to B? Okay. How about the reverse? Meanwhile, let's just try this code. And every time we do an update for the bubbles, where we add more bubbles here, I'm going to say Save. Let's see what this will do eventually. So function save. And let's get the bubbles. Let's use JSON and stringify the bubbles. At least that's what we could do. Okay. And then, yeah, A to B seems to be the solution to do the reverse. I just want to know if this works. A to B log decoded string. So I don't need this anymore. And this is just fine. I don't need this comment. Let's try save. Okay, interesting. This means empty string apparently. And if I add more things here, every time it's doing it, it's calling save. This is the base64 string, but it's very long. Not good. But I don't need to know radius and color and those things. So maybe bubbles, we map them to just get for each bubble an array with bubbles with b.x, b.y. I'm using array because I don't want to write here x and y each time, so it's going to be a smaller form if I want to do that URL trick. I really don't know if this is going to work. How to read the parameters in the URL. I haven't done this in forever. Okay. Really? I don't remember this being an option. Well, let's try read params. Let's call it bubbles. So the link and bubbles equals to something, like for example this string here. So this and bubble question mark bubbles equals to this string. Let's refresh first. Paste this one. And read params. Okay, we are getting that. So if we are getting that, it means we can decode that. And then we can generate the bubbles from this decoded string. And here we just need to do something with this encoded string and generate the link basically. Now this link, you have to put it on a website to work, so I'm gonna put it on my website at the end and it should be okay. But now reading parameters, read params, these are the coordinates. So let's read the parameters after we initialize all of these. Let's call it handle params because I want it to also generate the things for to generate the bubbles. So new bubble, I'm gonna copy this code and say for each bubble location for lock of bubble locations, bubbles push new bubble at x and y at lock of 0, lock of 1, like that. And refresh. Failed to execute something. Oh my. This is just a string, so decoded string and bubble locations JSON parse decoded string. Now the bubbles are there. And this is the new string. If I'm gonna paste it here, how long can this string get? And does it still work? I guess it works to some extent. If it's too long, then it will probably complain. But this is a nice way to generate a link that you can share to somebody for them to play, and you don't have to store them in any database. And yeah, maybe then they can give a screenshot with the score. So let's calculate the score as well. I think the score will be a factor of how many birds you needed to use and also how long time you have played. So the longer the time and the more birds you use, the more penalty you get. So let's calculate the penalty. Okay, where are the collisions handled? I'm already forgetting this code. So handle collisions, it's here. Okay, bubble count, bubbles length, previous bubble count. And we say if previous bubble count is not equal to bubbles.length and bubbles.length is 0. So no more bubbles left, but there were some bubbles before we handled the collisions. This is important because sometimes you start the game without creating a level. So yeah. And here we say that in this situation, you should compute the score and tell the score. So penalty playing time. So here where we handle the parameters, let's also record the start time. start time, new date, get time. Okay. And the penalty will be new date get time minus start time. Let's start with this. Okay. We should also count how many times we fired the birds. So here. Okay. Now, how do we make the score? Well, the penalty should be, depending on this time that you used, multiplied by the number of birds used. I think this is a okay thing. But this is not the score, this is the penalty. So one thing that you could do is inverse this value, 1 divided by that. But then maybe you want your score to be in a different range, in a bigger range somehow. You could do this. So question is, how long is this? How long do we give people to play? So penalty, let's call this time penalty. It's gonna be just this difference. And if the time penalty is gonna be greater or equal to 2 minutes, 2 minutes, 2 times 60 seconds times 1000 milliseconds, then time penalty is gonna be 2 minutes. So okay, now so this is the max time penalty. If you don't do it in this time, you will have 0 anyway. Okay. Let's try playing with just this time penalty for now. So console log. Let's not log, let's show the score somewhere on the screen. So below the canvas, I'm gonna put a field, let's call it info, a div with the info. And maybe in the beginning it can give some instructions. like that. Left click and hold to shoot. Control plus right click to add bubbles to generate level, to add bubbles. Okay. Okay, it's now there. I want the column flex direction. Yeah, so it's underneath there. Okay. And when it ends, so what I was doing, I would like to show the score somewhere, maybe here. Not in the info, okay. Let's put also the URL here. So the generated URL, so that it can be shared with other people. I think it's Windows location. So let's try that. Window location. Let's log this. href. And add it to this URL box. So document get element by ID, URL, inner text is gonna be this. Oh boy. But seems like it works. So only problem is that this is a very ugly interface right now. So let's make this instead of that an input field. And that means I think we put here value. Okay, so now I can select everything like that. I think these can be made read-only. Yeah, and I would like when I click on it to select everything inside it automatically. So, or copy to clipboard even. Select input field value on click and copy to clipboard. I have not done this in ages and I don't remember. I would have to look it up. Oh, really? Okay. So main I don't know if this works or why is it like that. Have to check it. Really? Okay. Let's also give it the same size as this. Doesn't seem to work. I guess maybe like this. Okay, so this seems to do something, but I want to update the text here. So let's update that text every time we save. So there is a function for saving somewhere, this one. And instead of just logging this, we want to add it at the end of the window URL. So window location, does this have anything useful? Origin path name. What is this path name? Okay, I can use this path name, I think. So when we save, I'm going to say new URL is going to be equal to window location path name plus question mark plus bubbles is equal to plus encoded string. So this has to go into the URL field. Okay, let's refresh. Oh, maybe also if we remove bubbles there it should happen, but let's try adding bubbles now. And that URL changed a little bit. Let's remove everything with the bird for now. We also check to see if the scoring works. Well, I don't see the score anywhere, but the penalty at least. Okay, if I right click, this changed a lot. And now I have just one of those. So if I click here, does it copy it to the clipboard? Let's see. Yeah, it seems it does. but it doesn't work. This starts with something weird here because it's Windows. I guess this origin and path name should be added there. So yeah, window location origin path name and then the bubbles. Let's try again. So I'm just gonna force these bubbles to disappear. Length is equal to 0. Let's add one bubble. I forgot the control. Let's add 2 bubbles, and now I click here, paste it, and it works. Good. Both bubbles appearing there. So now this link can be copied to people and shared with them after this goes on the web somewhere, because now I'm just working locally. But yeah, let's finish with the score. So the reason why I did this now is because I have less bubbles and I can go to the scoring situation. Penalty. So console log time penalty. So let's try to shoot these. And we get time penalty of 6,000 something. Let's do it faster. 4,000 something. So less penalty. Okay, so if I want to turn this into a score, I know that the max penalty is 2 minutes. So score is going to be this max time penalty minus time penalty. And if this time penalty goes beyond this max time penalty, it's just that. So the final score is going to be 0. Okay, not a number, because these should be grouped in a parenthesis here. Right. Okay, so, okay, this looks kind of like a score. Now, if we wait a little bit, okay, it decreased, but let's decrease it more depending on how many birds we use. So score, it's going to be max time penalty minus time penalty multiplied by how many birds we use. Maybe. Birds used. Let's see how it looks like. And Let's make sure it doesn't go below 0. So now we have this. Let's try with 2 birds. Okay, the score is 104,000. Let's try with 3 birds. Same, but I was much faster. Let's try with 4 birds. Okay, I'm worse playing it now. Very bad playing it now. Much lower. 11,000. Let's make it so that these bubbles are easy to get with 1 bird. So this is going to be the new link now. Yeah, the new link. I forgot to paste it there. So now refresh and shoot maximum power like that. Okay, score is 11,000. How is this birds used? How does it look like? Let's print it there. It's 2. Okay. I think this time penalty just Let's make this birds used not proportional to the time, but bird penalty also related to this max. Let's call this max score actually. So max score, bird penalty is going to be no penalty for 1 bird. So birds used -1. Let's say that if you use more than 10 birds, then you get a 0 score. So this. No. I want to get a fraction of this max score depending on, max score divided by birds used. No. No, this is not good. Each bird should have a fraction of this max score. Let's say bird penalty max score divided by 10 or times 0.1 multiplied by birds used -1. That's it. I'm getting tired. So score is going to be max score minus time penalty minus bird penalty. I don't need this anymore. Now shooting 11,000 something. Okay, let's try with 2 birds. 1, 2, 10,000 something. Yeah, That's maybe good. I think we can also put this like not 10,000, 100,000. So let's put this 100,000 something, but a little bit over, so that maybe some people can actually get the 100,000 score. It really depends on the scenario, but so now the maximum is going to be around 100,000. If you use 2 birds, it drops significantly, and if you use many birds, now it's about half already. So there is a penalty for that as well. Nice. Somehow the wing of the bird, I would like to see it better. Let's make the bird color fixed. So now they are coming as red, or let's have it as a given parameter, but then when we make the wing here, fill, let's also give it the fill style of RGBA 0.3. So I'm giving it a black fill with some alpha, and now it should make the wing darker. Let's make it more dark. Does it work? I guess it works. It's just not very striking. So the wing here, wing flap scalar, let's try giving it 2. Yeah, 1.2 and 1.7. Okay, this is nice, I think. Right. What else? Let's update the instructions here. Okay. Yeah, I think that's it for today. Seems to work. I think we want that link to update. I I think we want to save this every time we handle the collisions. After we handle the collisions, we want to save this. And let's have also a kind of score appearing somewhere. Now the link is changing every time some bubbles are going off. So I could implement a way to remove bubbles, maybe clicking on them, but I just remove bubbles by shooting the bird at them, and that's it. So I don't want to do more things today. It would be really nice to have a kind of popping sound effect here. So maybe let's end with that. I don't think it's going to be able to generate procedurally generated sound, but can you generate can you make a function that makes a pop sound using the web audio API? This is going to be very, very difficult. Okay. Yeah, maybe because the frequency is quite low. It might do something. Let's. So it's using a simple oscillator here, but it's putting a very low frequency, so it might be like a pop, but I don't know. The frequency also changes somehow. Well, let's try it. Now this main file here is becoming a monster. Maybe I still clean it up a little bit, but the whole code should be refactored. Really, when building things like this, no matter if you use Chat GPT or not, you build a prototype and you will need to refactor it if you want to take this game seriously in the future. So let's say here, play the pop sound. Every time every time the bubbles are splicing. Maybe. Okay, error. Why is there an error? Play pop sound is not defined. Oh, I'm making it inside of the draw function. Let's move this at the end here. It's something so different that. Oh my god, it works. Okay. It works decently well. Don't know if I'm sharing my sound here. Let's see. Okay. I think now the sound comes better, not just from the microphone here. It's decent. Okay. Are you really serious? Wow, it's doing something. So this is gonna be when the game is over. So the game is over here when we make the score appear. Not so successful this time. But what did it try to do? So a sawtooth wave with 2 exponentials for ramping the frequency. It may have wanted to do this. Maybe even longer. Let's try it now. Well, it's not really tada. Uh-huh. All right. Not really. Why sawtooth though? I think that's fine. It's not really Let's try with square as well. For this kind of prototype game, it's good. Okay. Yeah, I'm done with this. Okay, score is still not appearing on the screen, so that's what we need to still do. So no game over. Game over is going to be, or let's say score is going to be null. Score and if score can we draw the score on the canvas? Final step, and then I'm done with this. It was fun. It was interesting to see what it can do, and I have to say this game would have looked very different without using Chat GPT. And some of those things are really nice, like generating these procedurally generated graphics. I could make them even better, and the clouds were nice, the sun, a lot of things, and even the way the cannon looks like it was its idea, and the bird, it was a small modification of its idea. So a lot of stuff was done by it with some fine tuning from me. I did do some work because I had to figure out exactly what those things are, and sometimes they didn't connect well. But overall, it has potential, and if it's more like integrated into the coding environment, like this GitHub Copilot, then because now it doesn't know everything I'm coding, I would have to type it here all the time. So those are some kind of issues, but it's very helpful, I think. And yeah, let's get this over with. So, oh, okay, draw score. It's a function here. Let me put here display and sounds. So this draw score function is there, and it says I should use it. Well, yeah, I guess the score could have been made. No, because all the bubbles have to be destroyed eventually. But here, calling the function should actually happen here if, yeah, if there is a score, draw the score on top of everything. Okay, and all those event listeners, if not the score, I don't want to play after the score anymore. You should refresh the whole thing. So this is now the params section. Okay, and the event listeners. Okay, drawing should be in the display section. Cleaning up a little bit. So now collisions is here. And all these event listeners. These don't need any special thing. Okay. This background should have been already at the top. Bubbles, birds. These are related. Start time, handle params, URL field. These kind of initialization things. This was not needed anymore. Or it was. For the first time it appears. Then the score is null. Okay, it's decent enough so that somebody can have a overall understanding of this thing. Okay, so does the score appear? And how does it look like? Okay, black text. Honestly, I don't think I could have made this prototype as fast if doing it alone. And I would have been even faster if not stopping to explain what's going on. Most of the time was saved when generating the graphics and the sounds, I think. They weren't perfect, but easy to modify. Some of the more complex components, like the cannon, were a bit of a headache. The code did work surprisingly well and did a lot of things, mouse handling, trigonometry, and the animation, but it was written in a way that was difficult for me to understand, so a lot of time went figuring it out. Collision detection, on the other hand, was a breeze when I added code into the prompt to give it some context. It was also really useful when doing things I wasn't familiar with, like storing coordinates of the bubbles in the URL. One thing I really liked were the creative decisions it made. I'm quite sure the game would have ended up looking very different if coding it by myself. It really felt like I was working with someone, and it was surprising and fun to see the outcome. Of course, the code quality is not production level, but it's not supposed to be when prototyping. Here the goal is to try ideas out and see what works and what not. Refactoring comes only later when the vision is clear. What do you guys think? Have you tried Chat GPT? Let me know in the comments and see you guys.